negotiating deals.
Buying me some shit, I'm stunning in this bitch, everything legit.
I want me a meal to see just how.
Rebels, ha ha, everything legit with Wise and Pitt. You know it's real if they said it.
You are now listening to Rebels Radio with Wise and Pitt.
Yes, sir, my boy.
Yeah.
Welcome back, man. Another episode, Everything's Legit podcast, man. Coming to you live from Rebels Radio. It's your boy Wise checking in.
With your boy Pitt. You already know. Everything legit. Let's get it.
Come on, man. You know how we gets down, my boy.
Yeah.
It's good to
be back.
see you, man. Yeah, you already know it, bruh. How's everything, bro? How's your mental health? How's your space? How's everything with you, bro?
Everything good, dog, man. I'm good. You know, my only real issues right now is that kids is on spring break. and you know, groceries, you know how groceries go. But that's my only problem right now. I'm good, man. I'm loving life. How about you, dog? What's going on?
Hey, man, everything is good, bro. Everything is I'm all right. We here, able to create content, elevating. So I ain't complaining. Before we do get started, though, what I did want to do is just want to make sure that we take a second to mention that it's been a year since the murdering of Breonna Taylor. And we know that since that year has come, no justice has been done to her or her family because of her being murdered, laying in her bed, sleep. An EMT, somebody that was working for the city, and they bust in the door and let off however many rounds on an unarmed woman sleep in her bed and killed her. And it's been a year since then. And so we want to make sure that that name keeps circulating the culture. Make sure we don't forget it because she does deserve that. She deserves all of the justice and the remembrance that she deserves. So we want to make sure that we tapped into that and remembered that.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you mentioned that because I recently saw that the state of Minneapolis has reached a settlement with the family of George Floyd. The gentleman that we actually all witnessed him be murdered by a police officer. You know, that I think it was like $27 million or something like that. You know, that's a crazy amount of money, but it still does not equate to the life that was lost. So like you said, we just want to keep those names out there circulating. Make sure that we don't forget. Make sure that, you know, just because a lot of the protests and things have died down doesn't mean that we stop remembering that this is still an ongoing fight for justice, social justice, and racial equality. And we just got to do our part. But you know how that go.
Yeah, man. Also, too, just on a lighter note, just to, you know, make sure that we start the podcast off on the right note. It's been a year. It's been a couple years actually, since Boosie was diagnosed with kidney cancer, 2015 actually, and he just went for his yearly checkup, and the results of that has been that he is now cancer free. So shout out to Lil Boosie. Cancer is a terrible, terrible, terrible disease, man, and anybody that can survive that, you know, deserves, you know, all the praise and everything, man. So shout out to him for coming on the other side of that and being here for his family still and surviving that, man. So shout out to Boosie, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. I mean, because we all know somebody, or you know, somebody's been affected by cancer, and we know what that puts a person through. So shout out to him for, you know, making his way out of that.
Yeah, man. So now that we got that out and we good, how you wanna How you want to start today, bro? Where you want to take today's podcast? How you want to start it?
We might as well just go ahead and rock it how we normally rock it. Start off at the crib, and then we figure the rest out.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
always something interesting happening at the crib.
listen, man. Since we gonna start at the crib, I gotta ask you something.
Okay.
And actually, this might be a really good conversation for us because being that you and I are from we're from two separate cities. You being from Broward, me being from Miami. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna make this a biased conversation. Let me just ask you. Let's get the facts out first. You remember the artist Lijon Slim?
Yeah. Of course, I remember Lijon.
Where is Lijon from?
Deep side Lauderhill, Broward County,
Are you sure about that?
without a doubt.
How do you know that Lijon is from deep side Lauderhill?
He said it.
When did he say that?
I've heard him say it. I've seen it written. He repped deep side. All his videos are shot in deep side. Lijon from deep side, dog.
I had an interaction the other day with a gentleman who runs Lijon's Instagram page.
Oh, yeah?
So it could be Lijon, it could be somebody else, but it's somebody representing Lijon Slim. There was a video he posted of himself rapping. And in the video, he mentions that he is from Dade.
Oh, yeah?
So me being the curious individual that I am, because I, like you, have thought to have heard him say he was from Broward County. So I said, hey man, you from Dade now?
Hey, man.
I didn't think Lijon was going to respond. Hey, who are you? Get off my page. But he responded. Or somebody representing Lijon responded.
What did he say?
He said, I'm from Miami. Born in Miami, kid.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you can see that, but that's what he said. I don't know. I don't know.
Hey. I don't care what Lijon say. Lijon from deep side. I mean, but
it's become just to take it off of Lijon, right? It's becoming a trend where individuals who are, let's say, from South Florida pick and choose where they're from based on the level of attention on that particular city. So if Miami is running things at the time, everybody is from Miami. If Broward is the hot thing at the time, everybody is from Broward. Why is that? Is that allowable? Can it be this flagrant? Can it be that you come out and your hit song, you say you from Broward County, but now you're saying you're from Miami? Is that okay? Can you do that?
The direct answer to your question is where we're from. No, you can't. No, no, we don't. That's something we don't play. We take that county line very seriously, and it ain't like it's beef. It's just that we different. We do things different. We talk different. We dress different. It's not the same. People from out of town always think, like a lot of people have asked me, "Oh, you from Miami?" And when I tell them, "No, I'm from Broward," it'll be, same thing. No, it ain't.
It's not.
It's not the same. It's not the same. We're not the same. We don't do things the same. It's just different. It's just different. It's you got to be here to understand.
To know, yeah.
But we've seen this for a long time. Like when a person feels like they're not getting the respect or the support from their city, then they quick to claim something else or jump to something else. And this ain't new. It's been done on a much larger scale before and much more flagrant by other artists. But down here, it has been something that we notice a lot more. Like we could take it all the way back to Ace Hood. When Ace Hood jumped out, the main reason why he didn't get the support from Broward that he should have gotten, that probably would have made him a much larger artist, was that okay.
I know where you're going. So he made it seem like he was from Miami. But exactly. Okay, since we're here,
I don't think he ever actually claimed.
I was going to say, did he ever say that?
But to us, it was kind of like, wait a minute, you over there, because we know you from you came up over here. You know what I'm saying? And I now that I look back on it, because a long time I felt that way about Ace. After. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
After I watched this Drink Champ interview, and I started to realize that I never actually heard him claim Miami. I never actually heard him say, I'm from Dade, or what I'm saying. He never claimed North Miami or none of that. But it's the fact that we felt like he was allowing Khaled to manipulate him. And all Khaled was talking about was Miami. Khaled put that label on him. He didn't do it. But we took that and we ran with it. We was like, oh, okay, Miami? Okay. We see if them records spin here.
It was a case of your silence is deafening. Because you mentioned how he might not have said anything publicly about, hey, I'm from Dade. But when it was put out there that, hey, Ace Hood is from Dade, he never said, yo, I'm not from Dade, I'm from Broward. Like when he was at his peak, he never made that distinction. He never came out and made sure that, hey, no, let me correct y'all. He allowed that message to be put out there, so he didn't have to say nothing. He didn't have to say anything because he's right. That was one of his that Jenkins interview was one of his best interviews, and Ace Hood don't do many interviews. You know what I'm saying? But that what he said was nothing that he said was false. But at the same time, when you look at the full story, he didn't come out and just definitively say, hey, boom, 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 this is where I'm from. So that's why us being from here, we was like, okay, Dade didn't accept him, and Broward didn't accept him. Broward didn't back him because they felt like, yo, you don't even rep us you don't rep us hard like you're supposed to, and we got you to this point. And Dade didn't accept him like that because it was like, yo, we know you're not from here. You know what I'm saying? We know you from down there. You know what I'm saying? Your only pull is you running with Khaled. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it was. But he got caught up in that political mess. You know what I'm saying? But once he grew up and understood the game and found out for himself, then you started to see the change in him and start to understand what was going on. And then you see him starting to rep Broward County more and Fort Lauderdale and 954 and things like that. But like you said, being from here, it's a distinction. It's a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember just growing up. I remember growing up and when you were smaller, the world is so much bigger, right? And so driving from where I'm from, Goose, Cutler Ridge down there, and driving to Broward was like an adventure. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, we're going to Broward for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just that type of thing. It was like a whole different world. You know what I'm saying? And so, like you said, just being from here, it's not a disrespect, it's not a beef thing. We just know, like, hey, they from there, we from here. You know what I'm saying? Even when I moved to Broward and I went to high school in Broward, like it was a thing where you just had to, I had to sit. I was quiet for the first couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Not quiet, but I had to lay back and watch because I'm not from here. You know what I'm saying? And so I got to know how to move and know how to talk and know how to blend in with y'all because I'm gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? And but like you said, but to that's why to us, when an artist does that, we look at you sideways. Like us, we look at it sideways, like, bro, like you ain't got to keep switching like that. We know where you from. You know? You know what I'm saying? Pretty Ricky went through that too. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody thought they was from Miami, and even the type of music they made was like more Miami based music.
But see, that's another thing. That's another thing. Like when you got people like Pretty Ricky, Broward and Dade are so close close that when the further south in Broward you get, and the further north in Dade you get, that line starts to blur, and the culture is blurred right there. You know what I'm saying? And so Pretty Ricky, their influences were Dade County influences, because they lived so close to Dade that it's like, you know what I'm saying? You can only go so far north before you start to get cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that line blurs right there, because most of the time, if you're from Hallandale, Hollywood, most of the time you're gonna party in Miami. You're gonna party in Dade. So your influence is gonna be Dade. Most of your friends go to school in Dade. And so that's and we had that issue with them because I went to school with their sister in Broward.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, where y'all from? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? That was just one of those things. But like I said, we've seen it on a much larger level, especially like when we were coming up. When Bow Wow was Little Bow Wow, what was it? Ohio is where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up, started really
smelling himself,
dealing in Georgia and Atlanta. And then it was Atlanta. He was from Atlanta now. You know what I'm saying? And that was wild because you know what I'm saying? We watched you grow up. We watched you for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden you from Atlanta. He dropped that song with Sierra, and he did that stupid jingle at the end. Nana, Nana, Babana, Atlanta, everybody know now what I'm trying to do. Yeah, you're trying to say you from Atlanta now. We get it, but no. Why you can't just say, all right, I love Atlanta? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I was one of those Broward dudes who just got a lot of love in Miami, I would just say I love, you know what I'm saying? I love Liberty City. Cool, great. I got a lot of friends in Liberty City. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's a weird thing, man. Everybody just want to attach themselves to what's hot right now and thinking, let me just cross these lines and rep this, and because I'm from Florida, it don't matter because everybody else don't know. Like, we like you said, when I leave up out of here and I'm like, yo, you say you're from Miami, they think, oh, South Beach. It's like, hold up, South Beach is not even half of Miami. You know what I'm saying? It's a fraction of Miami. It's a, you know,
Miami
what I'm saying?
Don't even look like South Beach.
Yeah, South Beach ain't even Miami. South Beach is South Beach. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's a whole different world once you cross that bridge and you get on the other side. So so when people on the outside, they don't understand it. It's easy to manipulate the public and move back and forth like that because they don't understand what's going on. But at home, we do. You know what I'm saying? We understand. That's why when LaJon did that, now I'm like, hold up, bro. Hold up. I know you rap Broward real hard when you was on your come up. So let me find out. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? But hey, man.
And that's crazy. I also saw like I thought Savannah was from Dade. I thought Savannah was from Miami, and then I saw her as like, oh, she posted a picture of her like on a scooter or something. And she's like, oh yeah, this reminds me of back in the day, riding through Broward. And I'm like, oh, okay. But then again, I don't really know where she's from. So
Broward is hot, bro. Broward is it's exactly what we predicted, bro. It's Kodak is home. He's heating up. He's garnering the attention again of the internet. Catching the eyes of the other culture, and so with that, the light is being shined on the city. And so, we got a point now where, hey, if you want it, hey, what's up? It's here. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity is there. You just gotta want it. You know what I'm saying? We live in a city where individuals will get complacent and comfortable and not work as hard as they need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, the lemon pepper freestyle that came out. You know what I'm saying? One individual touched it in the city and kind of stamped it and did his thing, and it kind of felt like everybody else in the city was like hesitant to touch it. Wasn't even sure what they could do as good with it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like to me. But when we live in a city where it's supposed to be in a city where full of these creative rappers and creative spitters, and we know that the attention is here, and it's time for us to make our mark and come up the way Atlanta does, because right now we got that same type of attention as Atlanta does. It's just a matter of which artist is going to come up next, which artist is hungry enough to want it, which platforms, which content creators, which creatives are hungry enough to put themselves in position to catch this wave. You got to work for it. It ain't just gonna fall in your lap. You gotta want it. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that's, the powers that be, the one that's in charge that can push that button, that's what they want. They want the one that's hungry, that's wanted, that's showing that they want it. And so, but we see the effects of that. We see what's going on, and it's the attention is there. Broward has the ability to do it. We got the talent. It's just a matter of putting everything together and making it worth somebody's while to give you attention.
Yeah, that's all facts. And speaking of, you mentioned Kodak. Kodak recently tweeted that he loved Lauderdale.
I saw that, man. That was dope.
We love you too, Bill. Appreciate you.
Come on,
everything.
Man.
One thing that Kodak has always done is every time somebody says, "Oh, hey, you're from Miami, right?" He gonna stand that right there.
From day one, that's how he's been.
No, I'm from Pompano, Broward County, Florida. Ain't none of that, but he's not gonna let you get nothing confused. Because one thing about like being Pompano and Deerfield, those are like the northernmost points of Broward. That's a journey to get to Miami. So you just like how Ace said in his interview, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not from around there. I don't know these parts. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I appreciate about Kodak. It's Kodak from day one. He been nipping that in the bud. Like, nope,
Bruh.
you're not finna throw me in the Miami bucket, because he done seen how that work out.
Even being like you said, even being where I'm from, bro. Like, I didn't even Pompano wasn't even on my radar, bro. Where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? Like, where I'm from, we don't know nothing about Pompano, bro. We don't hear about it, nothing. You know what I'm saying? All of it's the same, but when you get down there and you realize, because we used to go to Lauderdale all the time in Sunrise, that's where my boundary stopped. I stopped in the deep side, so I knew about deep side and shallow side and all that. But once you get past that and you get the East Sunrise and you get the Pompano, Deerfield, and all that, bro. I ain't know none of that. You know what I'm saying? And then I moved to Broward, and my first experience was I go to Ely. I go to the most hood school out there. So I'm like, yo, okay,
In
like
the middle of Pompano.
right in the middle of Pompano, bro. I didn't know what was going on, dog. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different. Pompano is its own thing, bro. So you got somebody from there. When you get somebody from Pompano, they make it out and they get to the status that Pompano that Kodak is from. They gonna represent that, bro. Like where I'm from, Trick Daddy is from the same neighborhood I'm from, and he represented because when you make it out of there, bro, you have no choice but to, hey, look, this is what I made it from the gutters, bro. I made it from where nobody makes it out of. You know what I'm saying? So Kodak, he gonna remind you, bro, this is where I'm from. Like, this is what.
Yeah.
Same thing with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson from the same neighborhood, but Lamar Jackson is Broward County through. Like, he gonna let you know. He gonna remind you that's where he from the way he talk, the way he carry himself, and he gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just dope to know that, like, down here, whether it be Palm Beach, Broward, or Dade, bro, we have our own lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you cross Palm Beach, it's a whole different lifestyle down here, dog. We talk different, we act different. It's all different down here. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta know what you're getting yourself into when you get down here. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to all the artists that's doing it, making a way, because, bro, you know, we here. So to us, it's normal, everyday thing. But we got to understand, just speaking in general, speaking locally, we got to understand that our flavor is different. You know what I'm saying? And to everybody else on the outside, they curious about what it is that we do. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that we got to do is keep doing it, keep being consistent, keep being hungry, because the eyes is down here. They looking. And as soon as it click, as soon as it makes sense, they coming to get you. You know what I'm saying? It's consistency and hard work. That's what it takes, man.
Yes, sir. Amen to that. That's one thing I always preach: consistency. Got to be consistent. Got to be consistent.
Got to be consistent.
If you can be consistent, and you can make it so that you doing something every day that somebody else ain't getting up and doing, you already won. And that's all to it. Just gotta be willing to put in that work when everybody else is trying to find a shortcut. But like you said, from down here, that's the way. That's our way. That is what we do. Like you said, Pompano is in Broward County, but Pompano is its own place. There is no other place in Broward like Pompano.
Yeah.
You don't find that type
flavor.
of you don't find that, you know what I'm saying, drip, whatever you want to call it. You don't find that nowhere else.
Yeah.
And that's coming from me. I'm from Lauderdale.
Nah, you're right, bro. It's a whole different world, bro. It's a whole different world, man. I spent 4 years there every day of my life, and just being in there, it was like, when you leave there, you realize, like, even just going there, just driving there, it's like you got to get into a whole different mindset. Going there, just driving through there. You gotta get a whole different mindset. You know what I'm saying? And so you realize it when you drive, when you're coming and going. You're like, man, this different out here. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it is what it is, man.
It's the exit 36.
That exit 36, baby.
Exit 36 sounds special.
Yeah, shout out to Broward County, everybody from Broward, bro. One thing that I wanted to get your opinion on, man. You know, speaking of artists putting in work and doing, you know, what it takes to make a name for themselves. You know, we've been seeing all of these docs come out, you know, and in the direction of the docs kind of reminded me of how hip hop kind of came about. And so maybe that's the way it's going. But, you know, hip hop used to be so Northeast dominant that even right now, still the media is Northeast dominant, but hip hop lives in the South. You know what I'm saying? But just thinking about all the documentaries that have been coming out lately, it just kind of feels like either they're, you know, documentaries that are being reused, or they're just artists from the same region. You know, you hear the same story. They all know each other. They all kind of grew up together. So it just kind of made me think about, you know, which artists from the South should we be clamoring to have a documentary for? Because hip hop lives in the South now, and it has for a long time. In fact, you know, if we just think about it logically, hip hop has lived in the South longer than it has lived in the Northeast. Even though it may have originated from there, the South has dominated it for a longer period of time, and there seems to be no end. The flavor, the sauce, the equation, whatever you want to call it, that makes hip hop what it is, the South has it, all of it. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it doesn't feel like hip hop is going anywhere anytime soon. So, being it as it may, you know, the South has a more interesting story to tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though there has been beefs and everything, one of the most infamous beefs, Gucci Mane and Jeezy, that's in the South. You know what I'm saying? Artists from the South are the most versatile. They can make club music at the same time. They can make trap. They can make lyrical music. You know what I'm saying? It's like artists from the South can do what another artist can do, but other artists can't do what artists from the South can do. You got to come down here to even catch that vibe. You know what I'm saying? So, being that as it may, you know, who are some artists from the South who deserve to even be mentioned to have a documentary?
I mean, of course, you know, you got the usual suspects, the outcasts. And one thing about that whole kind of first generation Atlanta scene was that they all came up together. They all went to school together. So it brought in another wave of this a whole new crop of these kids who did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? From Big Boy and Andre and Monica and you know what I'm saying? Like all these different people cross paths with each other regularly, and we were introduced to them all separately. And then you get to see how they were all intertwined together coming up. Even back in the day, a little after that wave, you know, you had T.I. and Criss Cross. You know, the list can go on and on and on until we get to the you know, the Jeezy and Gucci and just all these different roads and people crossing paths. Like, first of all, that would have to be like a 4-part documentary. You know what I'm saying? And it'll have to be 2 hours each part. You know what I'm saying? It would be ridiculous.
Even when I think about documentaries and I think about individuals who stories need to be told, I think of like Jay Prince. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, definitely.
He needs to have, you know, his story told and how he helped shape independent music. You know what I'm saying? And then you go off of his limbs. You got the Master P's and the Babies, and how they took his blueprint and expanded on it and created multi-million-dollar, maybe even billion-dollar companies. And
honestly, that's where I was kind of headed next, because we always get these bits and pieces of the Birdman and Master P story. You know what I'm saying? We never really get the in-depth, you know, how they went from, you know, just regular hustlers to multimillionaires, corporate, you know what I'm saying, dudes, and to eventually getting away from their differences. Because for a long time there was a reason why No Limit and Cash Money never mixed. I mean, we kind of can figure, you know what I'm saying? We, in your mind, you can be like, you know, there was a little beef there. But I personally would like to know the full in-depth story.
Yeah, I mean, and that just goes back to the the media being controlled by the Northeast. You know, they don't know the South story, so they don't want to tell it. You know, you're not from down here. You can't tell our story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even when you go past, you go past them, I love to hear the stories of the Tony Drapers and the Uncle Al's and the Uncle Luke's. You know what I'm saying?
Uncle Luke.
Because without them, music wouldn't have the freedom to express themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, like that parental advisory sticker is probably the most important thing in hip hop history because it allows artists to say whatever you want to say freely. You know what I'm saying? And without Uncle Luke, that ain't happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he's an icon in hip hop and when you just think about somebody like Uncle Luke, right? He doesn't it doesn't feel like he gets that same reverence as like an Ice Cube or a Ice T or LL Cool J. You know what I'm saying? Like he's from that era and he's just as impactful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If not even more, because you gotta be he's from the South and he had to break through whatever barriers and then get the respect from everybody else. So to hear his story, to hear Uncle Al's story and how he helped just shape the Miami scene, hear Tony Draper's story and how he just created the one of the most influential labels and is still the gatekeeper to the sound of everything that's coming out from Florida. So it's a bunch of it's some heavy hitters that from the South that definitely deserves that type of mini series, docu series.
Yeah.
But like I said, I fully believe that has a lot to do with just the media being still just biased, just Northeast biased, because they can't tell our story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And like you said, we've been hearing those stories, their stories, over and over again. We hear the you know what I'm saying. We hear the Diddy story, the Jay-Z story, the Biggie story, the Pac story. We go over to California, we hear their stories, Tookie and you know what I'm saying, Snoop, Ice Cube.
Rick Ross.
We hear, you know, so we hear all those stories, and we honestly our stories are out there, our documentaries, our miniseries and docuseries are out there, but they're like really low budget and we had to kind of do our own thing. It's on YouTube, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like you can find a lot of Jay Prince, and especially the empire that he built in Houston, and then all those, you know what I'm saying, when we got the Slim Thug and Paul Wall and Chameleon there, all that, you know what I'm saying, they whole culture, you can find it, but it ain't being handed to you, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's where we're going with this. Like, we want it to be just as
held up
easy
on the same platform, the same platter, the same reverence.
Yeah. That's all we want.
Yeah, because I mean they deserve it. I mean,
yeah,
without a lot of those names that we mentioned, independent music wouldn't be what it is. You know what I'm saying?
And now independent music is like the only way. It's the way.
Them dudes was looked at as crazy. Like it was hard. Like they were looked at as like outliers. Like, what are you doing? And
like you tripping. You ain't trying to get a deal.
Yeah, and all they wanted was they wanted the sort. And just that's what I feel like is in our DNA. Just being from the South is, I think it just, to me it just goes back to our beginning of how being from the South and how we were slaves and how we got free, and from that freedom it was created like, hey, while we were in bondage, we had to learn how to do things. We had to learn how to cook, make your own clothes, teach yourself how to read, teach yourself, we had to learn on our own. And so even now it's like we want the plug, we want the source. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, we see. Okay, we'll sit. Oh, that's what they're making the money. Okay, Now that I know where you're making your money, let me find out how you making it. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you doing this so that I can, because I'm not going to need you in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do this on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and just like you said, it's in our DNA to cut out the middleman and get straight to the business ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to deal with the middleman. It's just not, it doesn't make sense to us.
Yeah.
Because that's like now all of a sudden I'm instead of being a slave to one person, I'm the slave to the slave now. Nah. We not rocking like that. I want to be the man. That's it.
Yeah, man. That's exactly what it is.
And honestly, those names that we mentioned, Master P's, Birdman's, Jay Prince, that's the blueprint for being a boss in the South.
Man. Yeah. It is. Speaking of about being a boss, like this is came out last week. We didn't mention it, but I want to get your thoughts on it because I've been seeing everybody give different opinions on it, and it's been kind of interesting to see how different people are viewing this. But Jay-Z sold majority stock of Tidal to Jack, who is the owner of Twitter, and they paid about $297 million for it, for majority stake ownership of it. How do you feel about Jay-Z selling majority Tidal to Jack Dorsey?
Jay-Z he said it himself years ago. He's not a businessman. He's a business.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man.
Yeah. He is the business. You know what I'm saying? So we know what to expect from him. Anything that he owns can be sold for the right price because he's about making money.
Capital.
Yeah. And it's not like he sold all of his, you know what I'm saying, everything that he owns when it comes to Tidal. No, I sold you a portion because that's $300 million.
But even if he did, what would be the issue? Even if he sold 100% of Tidal, what would have been the issue?
There wouldn't be an issue. Not for me, at least. But when we think about our community, we are just now getting to the point where even if another black man is already very wealthy, we'd rather support him than support them. So I could see that being the only discrepancy. Like, okay, now who do we support when it comes to our digital streaming preferences? But other than that, there's no issue.
Right. Because I don't think that Jay-Z ever came out and said Tidal was a black platform. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think he did. I think he did come out and say it was an artist platform.
Yes.
And I do believe the artists that were initially involved in the investment also got paid. So it did what he said it was supposed to do.
Yes.
And Jay-Z being a businessman, that's what happens. You you create a business and you build it up to a point where you sell it. That's what a businessman does.
That's called investing.
Yeah. And then now he's at a certain level where everybody around him is the same color. He's the first person in the room like that. You know what I'm saying? And so he's just up there like, all right, now that I'm here. We done broke the barrier. I'm here. Understand that when you see me, there is going to be more. You know what I'm saying? I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? So we done figured it out. The mold has been broke. We done figured out how to get there. It's more coming. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of allowing Jay-Z to he he is what hip hop is supposed to be. You from the streets, you create an art, it gets you out of your struggle, you turn that into something much bigger than yourself.
Yep.
I mean, he's a as much as I am a advocate and fan of Southern hip hop and believe Southern hip hop is the best. Jay-Z is Tom Brady. Like it's like there's no denying him. When you talk about hip hop, you have to make sure you separate. Okay, there's Jay-Z, and then let's get to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you have to talk about it now. Like so, yeah, I'm a huge fan of the South. I'm a huge fan of Southern hip hop. I'm the biggest advocate of it. But there's Jay-Z, and then there's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that he's bigger than a culture, but he has transcended the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying. And you're right. Jay he's another example of kind of showing us the way. You know what I'm saying? Showing us the way out of that. Just what we came from. You know what I'm saying? Showing us that there is something other than what you know. You know what I'm saying? And he's a lot of those artists that were, investors in Tidal at the beginning. You see the same type of transition or evolution from them also, the TIs, the Jeezys, you know what I'm saying? Lil Wayne's, you know what I'm saying? You see this transition where they go from pure street, I came from the hood, I came from this project. Then they, you know what I'm saying, they make their way into now you can't hardly catch these dudes in street clothes no more. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't, I mean, yeah, it comes along with growth and maturity, but also it's experience, it's life experience and just knowing better so you do better. And it's trickling down. And now we're seeing it happen younger and younger. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing these artists come out their first, second album. Now all of a sudden, oh yeah, I've invested in this and I'm getting money off of this and I got this, you know what I'm saying? I got this other business going on the side. It ain't taking people 7, 8, 9, 10 years into their career to get to that level where they, they're smart with their money and that they're building that they're getting that residual income outside of music, outside of making music. You know what I'm saying? Because
getting that quick dollar and then flipping it.
Yeah, it comes to a point where music now it becomes like your hobby. It ain't really your job. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you do because you love the art, you love the culture enough to give us music. But you're getting all your money somewhere else. That's why you get a Jay-Z album every 3-4 years.
When he wants to.
You get a Jay-Z album once every presidential term or something. You know what I'm saying? 4 years, 8 years. But other than that, we just know that he got a lot of money and that he do what he want and he move how he move and he gets respect for being who he is. And like I love the way that we've seen hip hop grow up in these last like 20 years. I'm a fan of it all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that I'm glad that it has a spot in my hometown now, because for a long time we didn't have that. Yeah. And so I'm glad that it's there now.
We've never seen, we're watching hip hop age. You know what I'm saying? Like there is no, we don't know what hip hop looks like at 50. We're watching it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just great, like you said, to see it going in the right direction instead of fizzling out and dying. It's becoming more dominant because we're becoming smarter. We're making better decisions, smarter decisions. We're not just limiting ourselves to this music. We getting that quick dollar with that album, taking that and flipping it and making it work for us. Another different. That's the difference between the artists that stick around and artists that don't. The ones that understand that hey, this music is a quick flip and ain't the end all be all, but it's gonna help me to put me on a different platform and to get um you know something better for myself. So shout out to everybody that's doing their thing, man, and taking advantage of hip hop. Love to see it age the proper way. Speaking of aging the proper way, what are your thoughts on the upcoming verses? Raekwon versus Ghostface. Are you excited? How you feel about it? You gonna watch it? What's up?
Yeah, I am excited and I do plan on watching it. Growing up, I wasn't really that into Wu-Tang, or you know what I'm saying, or them as individual artists outside of ODB, maybe Method Man. But I never forget one day I was at Lakes Park, and one of my homies played basketball for Lakes Park, so we was always at Lakes Park. And never forget I saw Ghostface out there. Ghostface was at Lakes Park. It may have been wintertime, but I doubt it. But this man had on Tim's, big jeans,
Looking like Ghostface.
big jacket, a beanie like what you got on, and he was just out there chilling. And that was like, I didn't know who he was, but I knew who he was. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know who he was, but I was like, he's obviously different. That's when I started digging into Wu-Tang and all that. My brother had a homeboy who was into Wu-Tang, like that's all he thought about. And then what I'm saying, there's people at school who were into Wu-Tang. I had a homeboy who used to always draw the Wu-Tang symbol. But when I watch this verses, I'm gonna be watching it for the backstories more than the music. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be watching for the backstories to just fill in some of the blanks, because I mostly know Wu-Tang as separate artists, and so I'm looking forward to getting some of these loose ends tied up. I don't know. How about you? What you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the only reason why I watch it is to hear some of the Wu-Tang backstories. They have one of the most compelling stories. I'm all the way locked into the Hulu show they got. I'm hyped that it's coming back for another season. The documentary they got of Mikes and Men, super dope. You know what I'm saying? So everything around Wu-Tang is dope. I'm not sure I'm hyped to see Raekwon versus Ghostface, in a music battle. But when it comes to everything outside of the music that Versus can provide, I'm hyped. I'm hyped to hear the stories and to see if maybe all of Wu-Tang will show up. You know what I'm saying? To see if who's gonna be in the room, how they gonna, because I don't know if they announced if this is gonna be virtual or not. But just to see who shows up, you know what I'm saying? To see how it can make the stories more interesting. So that's what I'm hyped to see. I'm interested to see just what Versus does next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna slow up for a minute because I think everybody gonna bust out this summer. So everybody gonna be outside this summer, but once everybody gets sick and we back inside in the fall, I think it's cool. I think Versus will pick back up again. You know what I'm saying? But it's just interesting. They just sold it to TikTok, so to see where that goes and what's to come of that. hey man, we'll see. But yeah, versus this Saturday. Tomorrow. Actually, I'm sorry. Versus is tonight, Saturday. Um, and it's something that we look forward to seeing.
Hmm?
Um,
It's like you said, it's gonna be interesting to see how Versus evolves, because we've been seeing it. I personally don't see it slowing up. The only issue is that it's probably gonna be, like you said, it's gonna be a lot going on this summer, so it's gonna be a lot less attention. They're gonna have to do something major to grab that attention again. But I feel like they can do it. It's gonna be possible. So we just gotta wait and see. I'm excited. I'm always excited about Versus. So
yeah. Speaking of verses, before we leave, just music in general. Some new music that's come out this week. Is anything that you tapped into in particular? That you've been tapped into?
T Grizzly has had an impressive run of singles that he's been dropping. I think he dropped. I don't remember the name of it, but I know he dropped another one. Quando Rondo's been doing the same. I like Quando. Let's see what else we got. Tokyo Jets dropped Cancel Culture. I'm looking forward to getting into that. I'm sure it's gonna be dope. She's one of my favorite female artists. I don't know if that has anything to do with, being with Grand Hustle and T.I., but I don't know. I listened to Heartless by Roddy Ricch, new single. That one was pretty dope. It wasn't the well, I don't want to build false expectations, but it wasn't the regular sound from Roddy Ricch. It was a little different. And I saw that Benny the Butcher dropped a new tape today with Harry Fraud.
Yeah.
And we already know how Benny get down. He got a track on there with 2 Chainz. I forgot what it's called, The Plug or something.
Chain.
That thing fire. I think they dropped a visual for that too.
They did?
But I believe so. I want to say they did. I want to say they definitely
add
did.
That to the rotation.
But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there today. But that's all I've been tapped into. How about you?
Man, from the crib, I saw 12 Lin and 93 Purpose in the studio together, and to me, that's dope. I'm hyped. I want to see what come up out of that. To see what sound come up out of that. What they create, because that's 2 real dope Dade County artists. Shout out to them being in the studio together. And 12 Lin said that his project, he said he got 2 projects done, an album and an EP done, supposed to be dropping this year. So hopefully we get that new wave, that new vibe coming from him. Also too, P. Smith, new track, No Risk, No Reward. That just came out. I like that a lot. Super dope. Speaking of artists not jumping on and being scared of and being nervous and not wanting to put their hands on the Lemon Pepper Freestyle because Rogue killed it. They don't want to touch it. We did have one individual, one artist decide that he was brave enough to take on the task of the Lemon Pepper Freestyle. And of course, because he's from Broward and he's a dope artist, he did what he was supposed to do. He killed it. Shout out to Jay Hitter for killing the Lemon Pepper Freestyle, man. Shout out to you for putting on, doing what you're supposed to do, letting everybody know that Broward is full of heavy hitters, because you ain't scared to touch the lemon pepper freestyle.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
Jay
saying?
bodied that thing. He bodied it.
Yeah.
He did his thing.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Jay Hitter for doing that, man. Never scared. Also too, Coley P dropped No Love. That's something that I was tapped into, and Coley Bible 3 supposed to be done and on the way. Hopefully, Coley Bible 3 on the way. And look forward to hearing that straight up. Also too, Gunplay and Rick Ross dropped a new track. Pyrex.
I caught a glimpse of that.
Pyrex popping. Hey, I gotta say something, man, because listening to that song, first of all, I am one of the biggest Gunplay support. I think Gunplay is the best artist on MMG outside of Ross. You know what I'm saying? But when Gunplay is in his zone and he's in that creative space, the flows that he come up with are crazy. He was floating all over that beat. It's like a hot knife through butter. He was cutting all through it, and his flow that he was using. I don't think Gunplay gets enough credit for the different flows that he does use when he's in his zone. He got a track with Kendrick Lamar when he on there just getting to it. You know what I'm saying? And then he turn around and drop Bible on the Dash, and that's a whole different flavor. And then you got this where he just going through it, and it's like, bro, like, man, I don't think Gunplay gets enough credit for the flows that he does have, but we got to give it to him, man. We got to give it to him.
Gunplay been doing this thing for a minute, and like you said, he's not what you expect when you just think of a Dade County artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta listen to him, and then you're gonna be like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta
like,
catch it, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta catch it. You gotta catch that. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the artist from the crib, because I don't know where I was, but Jack Boy got a new single out with Russ.
Yes.
I think it's called On My Masters or something like that. Mm-hmm. I also saw that Classic and Nova King are still in the studio. already got a project finished. Love for Sale is finished and on the way. But they still working. And I also heard through a little birdie that we might be getting a lemon pepper freestyle from Classic sometime soon, very soon, very soon.
Hey man. So hopefully we do. We do.
I'm almost certain that we will. Like I said, they will.
I'm hoping that we get more Broward artists that ain't scared to jump on the lemon pepper freestyle, because you from Broward, you ain't supposed to be scared. And what I've been seeing lately is artists being scared to touch the lemon pepper freestyle. So
I heard some artists announce that they was gonna drop a lemon pepper freestyle, then they backed off.
This is what I'm saying. I saw the same thing. And then once one particular artist dropped his, everybody else kind of like fizzled away. So I'm like, yo, is y'all scared? What happened? But hey, who am I? I'm just doing the mic.
That's it. You just a dude who talk on the mic, bro. Hey, you gotta remember who you are.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I gotta remember. I forget. I got outside of my pocket sometimes, bro.
But not since you mentioned that one particular artist, I'm also hearing that we might be getting some new Ridiculous Road visuals very soon. I don't want to put a date on it, but it's coming. I believe the video is done. I'm not gonna name the track because you know how that goes.
Let it go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but
shout out to Ro.
The city is definitely gearing up. Broward is coming. Like,
if you ain't already got the chamber loaded, you're a step behind. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But since we still at the crib, I kind of want to stay there for a second. And shout out to my dog Jet Wilson. That boy has been on the grind,
Bruh.
moving, doing what he's supposed to do, man. And I remember being him had
Jet don't stop, bro. Jet does not stop. Like some days you ever see a person like, and you be like, dang, does this man ever have a bad day? Like, does he ever have a headache? Like, there's nothing that can slow him down at all.
Man, I had a conversation with him a couple months ago, and he's just been nonstop. Just on the move, on the hustle, on the grind, moving the way he's supposed to move. And putting on for the city, man. It's gonna happen for him because he's relentless and he got a purpose, and he's focused on what he's supposed to be focused on.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to make sure that we shout out him because he does have a show this week coming up, and just want to make sure that we shout Jet out. Also, too, there's also, I want to give another shout out to another hard worker in the city. Shout out to my dog Spode, probably the hardest working woman in the city. She probably is the most tapped in when it comes to the youth as well. But Spode has a dope event going down today, Saturday. And it's going to be a real dope event. I know Spot 'em got him supposed to be there performing. That's huge. Hot Boy, I think, supposed to be there. So she got a dope lineup. That's supposed to be there tonight. She still got a couple tickets left. All ages. So super dope. Shout out to her. And her super dope event coming through. Also, too, another event happened at the crib. Speaking of P. Smith, they got an event coming up called Only for the Crew.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. It's coming up in a couple weeks. So we want to make sure that we keep shining a light on that, keep plugging that in. That looks like it's gonna be a dope event. So shout out to everybody that's making moves in the city. Also, too, I saw 2K dropped a new flyer for the Memorial Day weekend pool party. That's coming through. It's coming up. So once that start happening, summer is officially open, bro. 2K start dropping the pool party flyers. It's already that time. So shout out to them. Shout out to the city. But that's all the news I got. Coming from the city.
That might be about it.
Yeah. Did you see that because Drake, first of all, did you see the record that Drake got with the 1, 2, and 3?
Oh, that's that, bro. I had that as a topic that I wanted to bring up, and I'm glad you brought it up because Drake pops out and he's like, "Hey, just to let y'all know, I'm still here. I'm still the man. I still run it." This man can just show up when he want to, and then hang out at the top of the charts until he get ready to not be there anymore.
He's the first artist ever to enter the charts at 1, 2, and 3 at the same time. That's crazy. And the other day, you know what's so crazy is I was sitting back, I was watching something on YouTube about like YouTube numbers, and they were talking about who had the highest number of streams last month. And prior to last month, NBA YoungBoy had the most streams. And then this month, Drake came back and topped him again. So in my mind, I'm just thinking like, I know the two of their camps is going back and forth. Like, okay, how can we get a couple million more streams than him to get? Because dog, they up there with 46, 47 million streams. That don't happen by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so to see those type of numbers and to see Drake at the same time, 1, 2, and 3, that's wild. What's even wilder is this dude getting up on Instagram and thanking Lil Bow Wow.
Hey, y'all, you know he King Petty though.
Yo,
you know.
Listen, I thought he was trolling. And then I seen all the news and media outlets pick it up like it was a real thing. I'm thinking to myself, it looked like Drake was on something else.
Yeah.
Was I tripping? What did it like to you?
Hey, I thought the same thing. Honestly, anytime I see Bow Wow, I'm thinking
I think somebody trolling.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm saying, I'm just like that. Every time I see Bow Wow, I think it's a troll job going on.
Yeah, but hey, and I know you saw Soulja Boy tweet.
Oh, that man was hot. See, that's what made me think. But again, that's the power of Drake, because ain't no telling what they got cooking up, what's going. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Drake doesn't do nothing. Drake doesn't do anything for nothing.
Yeah,
like that was a strategic move for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Either he was being petty, either Bow Wow made him mad or did something crazy. He was like, all right, I'm about to be petty, or it's something else going on. Like, because even like one of the videos, he was like, he was talking and Bow Wow was kind of standing next to him, and Bow Wow kind of like put his arm on his shoulder. It kind of looked like Drake kind of like did one of them. Maybe I'm tripping, bro, but to me, it looked like Bow Wow did one of the little arm things, and Drake was talking to him, and Drake was kind of like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. So, hey, man, shout out to Bow Wow though, bro, for being Bow Wow, dog.
Yeah. Hey, he's accepted his role in this world.
I think so. That's what make it even better, bro. I think he know, so like he just go with it, bro. Like he just go with it, dog.
Yeah. Goody for him.
Yeah, bro. Also, did you see that the plastic Biggie crown sold for $600K?
Yeah, ain't that the same one they got? That Blue took the picture in after her Grammy.
Yeah, that joint sold for $600,000, dog. That's crazy. That's how expensive hip hop is, dog. To be able to do that. That's crazy, bro. Dog.
That's nuts, bro. But I do think it's super dope that Blue took a picture with the crown on while sipping out of the Grammy. That is so dope, bro. Because you remember that was Biggie's, claiming the King of New York.
Yeah.
And so to see Blue with it and knowing, just that those ties to Big and Jay and all that. That I think that was dope. I mean, normally I wouldn't even care about something like that, but just the ties that's there made it dope for me.
Yeah, it was dope. Super dope. Shout out to
the Carters.
Hip hop. Yeah, I was ready to say First Family Hip Hop, dog. That's who they are, dog. Shout out to them.
But that's the last we're gonna talk about the Grammys. We can talk about the Grammys no more.
I didn't bring it up at all. So
I know. I mean, I only brought it up because she was sipping out of. She had She was sipping out of the Grammy, and whatever. But that's that, and we're gonna leave that alone.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else for us to tap into. Trying to go through my list. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Who is? Cause I keep seeing this conversation happening this week. Who is your favorite mixtape DJ?
Mixtape DJ, I gotta go with Drama.
Drama. Why?
It's something about the It's something about that. He got this. First of all, the grit in his voice always matches the grit of the beats
What's going on?
that you hear. You know what I'm saying? When you hear that, and when you hear the cannon beats, it's some. It's the feeling that comes along with the drama tapes, dog. That you don't really get them. You don't really get that feeling nowhere else. How about you?
Oh man. I don't know, man. Drama has the best mixtape series. It doesn't
Which one?
get
Which one is that?
Gangsta Grills.
Okay.
Gangsta Grills. But I just remember growing up. When I got introduced to hip hop, I remember listening to a bunch of Green Lantern mixtapes.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to a bunch of DJ Clue mixtapes.
DJ Clue. Yeah,
now,
I remember that.
At the time, Who Kid was probably my favorite DJ in high school because that's when G Unit was running, and he had all the Lloyd Banks mixtapes, had all the Young Buck mixtapes. So Who Kid was very influential in my high school years. But through it all, DJ Clue was there.
Yeah.
And from the Jadakiss mixtapes to the Fab mixtapes, I just like it was a period of time where Fabulous was my favorite artist, and DJ Clue had all the exclusive Fab verses and songs. So like he was my favorite DJ. You know what I'm saying? Because he had all the Fab stuff, and then he started getting all the Lloyd Banks stuff. It was a time where I was just when Fab and Banks were my favorite artists. And Clue had that. And Clue broke a lot of artists. And I feel like Clue is like the father of modern day mixtapes. So I feel like maybe he's the better mixtape DJ, but I feel like maybe Gangsta Grills is the best. Like, if an artist gets on the Gangsta Grill mixtape, that's something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's like the pinnacle of mixtapes. Like if you get a Gangsta Grill mixtape, you are at the top of the game. And it doesn't get any much bigger than Gangsta Grill's mixtape.
I agree with that.
But definitely Clue, Drama, probably Green Lantern, my top three mixtape DJs, because they held down a lot for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kept seeing that conversation circling the internet, and especially since I've been seeing Drama, and Cannon on they're on the media run right now. They've been doing a bunch of interviews, so that's just been reigniting the conversation. But even Drama needs a documentary because he what happened to him was a pivotal moment in hip hop.
Yeah.
It changed the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, like that a lot of music never seen the light of day. You know what I'm saying? And never will. You know what I'm saying? And what happened to him and how it happened to him, that was a very, very, very monumental part in hip hop. And a lot of people don't even know that full story or why it happened and how it happened, how simple, you know, selling CDs at a kiosk can turn into a federal investigation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, like that's pivotal moments in hip hop that these dudes coming up now need to be remembered of, you know, why they're able to do the things they're able to do now, or why they're not able to do the things they're not able to do now.
True.
So yeah, man. Just trying to go through my list, making sure we got everything we're supposed to touch today. I was gonna talk about Vanessa Bryant unloading the chopper on Instagram, but I don't wanna I don't want to get into that, but she let that chopper ring off, and deservedly so. Like she exposed the dudes who shared the pictures of Kobe and Gianna's bodies, and and blasted it all over the internet, and rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
she hurt, and y'all made it worse. You know what I'm saying? And y'all need to be held accountable for your actions. So
Yeah, that's wild. But
yeah, man. But
once that ruling came through a couple weeks ago, I knew she was going.
yeah, of course. Who wouldn't? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You messing with that lady peace right now, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, man, looks like that's everything that we supposed to tap into today, my boy.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to everybody that be locked in with us every week. Shout out to everybody, the new listeners that's tapping in with us. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that on our YouTube page, youtube.com/everything's legit podcast. Also on SoundCloud, everything's legit podcast. Like, subscribe, share, comment, do whatever you can. Help us double up this week. Appreciate everybody tapping in. You can find us on Instagram as well at Everything's Legit Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at B_realwise.
You can find me on Instagram at _King Pitt.
Yeah, man. Hey, one more thing before we do get up out of here. Lastly, the Boston Celtics are now in the 6th place in the East, and they are tumbling very quickly as the Miami Heat rise to number 4, looking for number 3. We are 8-2 in our last 10. You guys are 6-4 in your last 10, and stumbling to the playoffs. Y'all don't want to face us first round, so you better hope you stumble down to the 7th, or we move up to 3rd place. That's all I want to say, man. Shout out to you for
We're gonna end. We're probably gonna end it. I'm gonna say 4th or 5th place.
You think? Whoa!
End of the season,
You think so?
End of the season will be 4th or 5th place.
You
now,
think
I don't know where that?
You think the
know.
Celtics are gonna be in the 4th or 5th place by the end of the season?
Yes. I feel like we're gonna be 4th or 5th, and I don't know where y'all gonna be. I know y'all won't be top 3. Y'all might be 4th or 5th. We might.
You think y'all gonna be better? You think y'all gonna be better than us in the end of the season?
I'm saying we might see each other first round.
If the playoffs ended right now, we would be seeing each other first round. We the 4th, y'all the 6th. No, wait, no, we wait. We would see y'all next round.
Listen, I'll be the first to admit we playing horribly right now. We playing like a team with no confidence, 2 all-stars and no confidence. I don't know how that works out, but that's what we.
Why?
That's how we rocking right now. Why? Because these boys are playing for stats. They're not playing for W's.
You don't think that's the coach's fault? Like for not motivating them like to play as a team? Cause I'm trying to figure out like how y'all go from one of the best teams in the like y'all still are the same young core. And now y'all looking like how is Philly better than y'all?
Oh well, Philly made the necessary changes.
But Philly don't have a better squad. Philly don't have a better roster than y'all.
Philly has the more veterans than us, though. They got the experience. That's what I see when I look at Philly. Philly has the experience, and they know how to. They got guys that know how to win. We got guys who, like I said, we got guys who know how to put up numbers. Like they're putting up numbers everywhere except the wins, and the wins. That's where we need the numbers, but that ain't where they putting them at because they trying to play like, oh well, I can get 17 assists and he can get 37 points and just win. But we're gonna put it together. Like I said, we'll be top 5 end of the season.
If y'all top 5, we top 4. If y'all top 4, we top 3. Y'all not gonna be better than us.
It's gonna be difficult to crack that top 3 unless Milwaukee just tumbles. I do like that Trevor Ariza trade.
Oh no, I think that's huge. I think that's gonna help us in the playoffs on defense for sure. I don't think we were worried about the 3rd seed. I think as long as we in top 4, that's what we worried about. But I think once again Milwaukee is regular season built. They gonna get stumped on in the playoffs because they don't shoot. I don't believe in Philly. I don't believe in Doc Rivers. I'm sorry.
I believe that Philly is much better than they have been in the last few years. But they're, like you said, it's still fool's gold.
I think they're I agree. But I think like I don't need like is their shooting better this year? I don't know. Like I don't know. But
I think they're better. They're definitely better on the offensive boards.
Yeah. And Ben Simmons seems to be playing a little better. He actually hit a 3 the other night.
That's like his third one of his career.
Yeah, and that was crazy. And then it's Brooklyn. And I don't know what to make of Brooklyn because I don't trust James Harden in the playoffs. I don't trust KD in the playoffs by himself. I don't trust Kyrie in the playoffs by himself.
But see, that's the thing. What you said is KD by himself because that's exactly what it's going to be because James Harden meltdown, Kyrie's knee, and then KD's alone.
I don't trust the stability of Kyrie. Like I don't know if he's going to come in. You know what I'm saying?
He don't even know half the time,
dude. Like, so I mean, Brooklyn. If Brooklyn is together, nobody's beating them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just unfortunately that's just what it is. But to me, winning the championship is harder than just putting 3 superstars together and saying go. You know what I'm saying?
You also got to remember they don't put Blake back with DeAndre now too.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but yeah.
But have you seen DeAndre and James Harden with the pick and roll game now? It's looking like Lob City all over again.
Yeah, but that didn't win.
It's different when you got James Harden instead of Chris Paul, and you got Kyrie, and it's different, bro. It's different.
Yeah, that was prime CP3, bro. I don't know.
That was prime DeAndre, prime Blake.
Yeah, that was different. Lob City was different. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna see.
Yeah, we definitely gonna find. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
The playoffs,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna get to see. And we're just gonna see. We're gonna see. Like UD said, we are the East until the end of this season. So we gonna see.
I mean, that's a fact. That's a fact. Okay, we can.
It is.
Oh, great.
There's no debating that.
Because it's the truth. I mean,
yes.
You can't say anything about that. Okay,
no, you can't.
We run the East until we don't anymore. Okay, cool, great.
We do.
Okay. There's no objection here.
I'm sorry, Boston can't say that. I know you would like to. I know that we'd like to be something maybe that Marcus Smart could say, or maybe Brad Stevens can come out and say, we run it until we do not. But listen,
that would be cool.
Yeah,
but I probably still wouldn't.
Yeah, but you can't.
Me personally, I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
it
but
because
you don't even have the option. I do.
That's second place is the first loser.
Yeah, you're right. But we won the East.
Cool.
Shout out to everybody tapping in with us, man.
Shout out to everybody, bro.
Shout out to everybody.
Hey,
shout out to you, bro.
Shout out to you, dog. I appreciate you.
Yeah, bro, for tapping in with us, man. And until next week, my boy, I bid you adieu.
I ain't gonna lie. Every time I tune in to Rebels Radio, everything legit. What up, Wise? What up, Pitt? You know it's co-signed by yours truly, Nova King. Glee!
Yeah.
Like what you thought? I was just sitting back not rapping, nigga? You think niggas ain't get better? Like what you said? I want me a meal to see just how it feel. Ain't worried about no bills, negotiating deals.
Find me some shit, I'm stunning in this bitch, everything legit.
I want me a meal to see just how it feel. Ain't worried about no bills, negotiating deals.
Find me some shit, I'm stunning in this bitch, everything legit.
Hey, I'm about biz, money where my mouth is, spliffy where my mouth is, smelling like ounces, but